I'm Alan Weiss, and this is the writing on the wall. Hi, I'm Alan Weiss. This is the writing on the wall. Today's subject, the tyranny of the majority, or why you don't send a battleship to swat a gnat. Apologies here to Alexis de Tocqueville. He wrote Democracy in America. He talked about tyranny and how you can still achieve it in democracies, and he was very prescient. He talked about the United States and Russia becoming the two great world powers. He was a French nobleman, wrote this in the 18th century. So apologies to Mr. de Tocqueville, a standard reading in freshman political science. But we do have a tyranny today. Laws that are made from scandal are seldom good laws. If you look at Enron or Tyco or Adelphia, we have laws now because a few men, primarily men, made terrible decisions, illegal decisions, unethical decisions. But laws in reaction to that hurt all of us. And so now we have things like Sarbanes-Oxley, which are killing businesses. Locally here in Rhode Island, we had a horrible tragedy, a fire at the Station nightclub. Killed hundreds of people because the owners and the band members and perhaps even the people responsible for monitoring these things didn't act correctly. But the laws that were then passed forced thousands of small business people to spend millions of dollars to put in extra safeguards. Will they save lives in the future or not? I don't know. But I do know that we can't just be reactive to what happens to a minority of the population. Someone's preferences and needs, even tragedies, can't trump everyone else's right. We have no peanuts on planes today most of the time because some people have peanut allergies. Peanut allergies are serious things, as is an allergy to gluten or to lactose. But we can't legislate society so that it's completely safe. There's a degree of risk. And what we seem to do is to please a few people. To try to make a few people absolutely safe, we remove the rights from everyone else. I know this is a sensitive topic, but in democracy, de Tocqueville will tell you, we need to talk about these things. Cologne. A lot of places, I wouldn't be able to do that. They wouldn't allow it because people have scent allergies. My question has always been, if you can't wear scent because of others at work, how do they get to work? In a bubble? I worked with a doctor once whose assistant told me when I came for certain tests, I couldn't wear a scent because she was allergic. And she told me 9 times, as the paying patient, as the one with the health problem, that I couldn't wear a scent. Maybe she's in the wrong line of work. Disability in this country has become a grievance industry. We have an entire grievance industry of victimhood. There was a person here in Rhode Island who, in a wheelchair, went around to old private schools, buildings hundreds of years old, and demanded that they change the construct and put in elevators to accommodate the handicapped. Now the interesting part is that the schools had provision. Anyone who was handicapped would be put in a class on the first floor. The entire class would be moved to the first floor. No steps. That wasn't good enough. He insisted in the event somebody wanted to go to the 3rd floor, an elevator had to be put in at the cost of millions. Many of you might be familiar with the lawsuit in the strip club that insisted that a ramp be placed so that wheelchairs had access to the pole dancing area. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Why do we put up with it? Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Wonderful, wonderful cause. But the fact is that most driving accidents caused by drunkenness are caused by people who are chronic drunks, who have long ago lost their licenses, lost their insurance, lost their registration, sometimes not even using their own cars. The way the law reads now, and the insistence on lower and lower blood levels in blood indicating, alcohol levels in blood indicating drunkenness, is that an extra glass of wine can get you in trouble. Yet most of these accidents aren't caused by people having wine socially at dinner. They're caused by chronic offenders. And the problem is we don't keep them off the street. The judges don't put them in jail for long enough periods. The laws don't permit sufficient incarceration. We're not tough enough with them. But we punish the rest of society. We can ruin a life with a glass of wine. It makes no sense. If we put a shutoff in cars so that you couldn't start the engine unless you breathed into it, and the device was sure that your alcohol level was safe, would that really make for safer driving, or just further reduce freedoms? And how many people would find ways to circumvent it who were determined to break the law anyway? Where does it end? People have agendas, and the agendas seem to inflict themselves on the rest of us. In a newsletter that I ran at one time, I had a picture of myself in a sailboat. Some of you know about my sailing experiences, not too good. So there I was with a life preserver, or at least what I call a life preserver. I promptly got a letter from someone who said they noticed I was wearing a PFD, which turns out to be a personal flotation device. I had no idea I had something so elaborate on. And he pointed out that in the picture, it wasn't buttoned. Now, the picture was taken at a dock with me sitting in the back of the boat for publicity.